Hello everyone, this is Ankit Verma and I will talk about arrival of Portuguese in India and the discovery of sea route to India in this video lecture. And at the end of the lecture, we will get to know every aspect of the Portuguese arrival and trade in India. So there's a lot to know and lot to learn. So guys, let's start. The arrival of Vasco da Gama from the household of the King of Portugal at the port of Calicut in southwest India in 1498. Right. And discovered a new and all sea route from Europe to India. For some time, the Portuguese, among other Europeans, had been looking for a sea route to India. They initiated the European era and marked the emergence of naval power. Doubtless, the Cholas had been a naval power, but for the first time, a foreign power had to come to India by the way of sea. The Portuguese carried cannons on their ships, which helped them to dominate the seas and monopolize the hugely profitable eastern trade by excluding competitors, especially the Arabs. The main settlements, which were very important in the trading point of view, were at Cochin, Daman, Goa, and Diu. Portuguese were the first and last to leave India. Francisco de Almeida, right, the king of Portugal in 1505 appointed him as the governor in India for a term of 3 years and equipped the incumbent with sufficient force to protect the Portuguese interest. He was asked to consolidate the position of the Portuguese in India and to destroy Muslim trade by seizing Aden, Ormuz, and Malacca. Right, but the real founder of the Portuguese power was Alfonso de Albuquerque, who secured strategic control of the Indian Ocean by establishing bases overlooking the entrances to the sea. Portuguese under Albuquerque boasted their stronghold in the Indian Ocean by introducing a permit system for other ships and exercising control over the major shipbuilding centers in the region. Earlier, it was a free trade zone. Permit system was absent. Portuguese established themselves as village landlords, often building new roads and irrigation works, and also introduced new crops like tobacco and cashew nut. Right, there were very several favorable conditions for the Portuguese in India, which helped them to settle much easily. The northern part was much divided among many small powers, and none of the powers had any navy worth its name. Right? Nor did they wanted to develop their naval strength. Portuguese had cannons placed on their ships, which established their monopoly in the high seas, and multi-deck ships were heavily constructed to run before the regular monsoons and can carry heavier armament. Many of the coastal parts of India had come under Portuguese power and they controlled a narrow tract with four important ports and hundreds of towns and villages, and also a chain of seaport fortresses and trading ports like Mangalore, Kannauр, Cochin, and Calicut. They further established military posts and settlements on the eastern coast. The Portuguese always had a role to play in the successive battles for the balance of power between Vijayanagara and the Deccan Sultans. The soldiers of the Portuguese army maintained strict discipline, and also the administration they also maintained the strict discipline. By the 18th century, the Portuguese in India lost their commercial influence. Still, some carried on trade on their individual capacity, and this encouraged piracy and plunders by the Portuguese. The Portuguese acts of piracy resulted in conflict with the imperial Mughal government. They captured Mughal ships, imprisoning many Muslims and plundering the cargoes. The local advantages which the Portuguese gained earlier were reduced with the emergence of powerful dynasties. Also, the religious policies of the Portuguese gave rise to the political fears as the Portuguese zeal for to promote the Christianity and persecute all Muslims. Initially intolerant towards the Muslim, but Portuguese were initially quite tolerant towards the Hindus. But the Portuguese policy of conversion to Christianity made Hindus also resentful about it. Their arrogance and violence brought them enormity of the rulers of small states and the imperial Mughal as well. In spite of all this, Portuguese had an important significance as they initiated the European era and marked the emergence of the naval power. Their ships carried cannons, which resulted in gaining monopoly over the trade, right? Which and the Portuguese declared their intention to abide by no rules except their own, as they wanted to rule by their own rules, not to be ruled by others, right? They wanted to follow their own administration, but not the rules or the farmans by other rulers or other dynasties, right? They were masters of very improved techniques in the seas. They had very modern techniques at the sea. They were having naval powers. They showed the emergence of naval power, and also they showed the military innovations. Lots of military innovations in the use of body armor, matchlock men, right? And the guns landed from the ships. They also made military contributions, that of the system of drilling groups of infantry. Their multi-deck ships were heavily constructed, designed to ride out Atlantic gales and permitted to carry out heavier armament. Right? They were occupied lots of space, which can facilitate them with lots of cargoes as compared to others. Right? The creation of royal arsenals and the dockyards and the maintenance of a regular system of pilots and mapping and pitting state forces against the private merchant shipping, and also the missionaries and the church were also the most prominent teachers and patrons in India of the arts and cultures of the painters, carvers, and sculptors. Right, they taught us a lot of things. The goldsmith and silversmith technique also being taught by the Portuguese and are in culture because of the Portuguese. Right, so guys, this is it. This is the end of the lecture. Hope you guys learned a lot from this lecture.